So we are here, NBA Finals, unbelievably already. Miami Heat versus the Los Angeles Lakers. I'm not quite sure how many people actually had this matchup going to finals. We're going to talk a little bit today about both the Eastern and Western Conference Finals, how we kind of got here. I'm going to start off with the East because the East was a very exciting series between the Boston Celtics and the Miami Heat. Miami Heat pulling this out in 6 games. What did you guys think of this overall? We know Brian's happy because Bryan is probably one of the only people in America who believed that the Heat could get here, and they did. What did you guys think of the matchup?
Yeah, and they did. But first, I'm going to go to the other side of Boston, the other side where we're going to go to Boston. We're going to debut a new segment called Everybody Shut the Fuck Up. And on Everybody Shut the Fuck Up is where we add nuance to a narrative that has taken over a lot of social media websites, all of which are devoid of said nuance, which is why we gathered here today to do this regardless. Sponsored by Side Hustle. Watch that now on YouTube. All 8 episodes, season 1. These 3 gentlemen are on it as well. So, what we're going to do on Everybody Shut the Fuck Up is
what we're gonna do, what you're gonna do.
What we're going to do as a unit, we're going to play player A versus player B. And we're gonna it's gonna be a little bit longer, so just try to stick with me here, but just roll, right? Okay. And you guys both know, because we've talked on air, who these players are. But this is more for the listening and viewing audience so that they could sort of, decide amongst themselves who had a better, period of games, so to speak, right? So this first player, and both players about 37 minutes a game. So we can just get that out of the way. Minutes about the same. This first player, 21 points a game, 7 assists, 38.5% shooting from the field, 31% from 3, 90% from the free throw line. Those are just the counting stats. Player B's counting stats, 19.6 points a game, 5.1 assists, 44% from the field, 31% from 3, and a little over 85% from the free throw line. With that leaves player A versus player B, their counting stats. Now, their advanced numbers. Player A, offensive rating, 98. Player B, and I'm going to go one by one on this one. You'll know exactly why. Player A's offensive rating, 98. Player B, 116. Player A's usage rating, 29.8. Player B, 23. Box plus minus. Player A, 2.5. Player B, 3.0. VORP, 0.4 for player A, 0.8 for player B. True shooting percentage. Player A, 488. Player B, 573.
B, just say Kemba's better than Kyrie. We know.
And player A got eliminated in the second round of the playoffs when player B at least got to the conference finals and was shooting 49% for the field before game 6 of Toronto. Player A is Kyrie Irving from last year's playoffs, and player B is Kemba Walker from this year's playoffs. Everybody shut the fuck up with this narrative. Jesus Christ.
I really have.
What are we doing? I know it's fun just to shit on Kemba Walker because he wasn't great in the Miami series and he wasn't great those last 2 games of the Toronto series, but he was damn good before that. And because of the fit just being better with Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, those guys were able to develop quicker than they would have if Kyrie Irving stayed. And no, I'm not blaming Kyrie or blaming Kemba. I'm just these are all facts. I'm just putting facts into the universe.
I just got 2 words for this. Team Kyrie. That's all I got to say.
I'm just putting facts into the universe. One person has a SpongeBob sneaker and a pyramid eye as his Instagram profile picture. People love him because he has the best handles in the NBA, and he's charismatic, and he's cool, and he's different. And the other guy they're making fun of because he smiles a lot.
Are you happy you got this off? Are you happy you got this off your chest?
Like, I just want people to yo, we're running. Election day is around the corner. We need to be fact-based people. Well, Jesus Christ! And
in
listen,
this country,
this is coming from somebody who. This is coming from somebody who really, really appreciates Kyrie Irving and calls him one of the best talents, pure talents in the NBA, and one of the best talents we've probably ever seen at point guard. But like, come the fuck on! Like, Boston had a great season, so shout out to them. They lost to a better team, a team that I picked to make it to the NBA Finals when the playoffs started, a team that I said had a chance to make it to the NBA championship as soon as they only had Jimmy Butler, and a team that I said was going to have the most improved player in the NBA, and they gave it to Brandon Ingram, a second overall pick in the draft 4 years ago, just for having the development we expected. Bam Adebayo is Kevin Garnett reincarnated. He had 32, 14, and 5 in a closeout game. He's already he might be the best center in the East right now, and they're going to the finals after he had been the MVP of the Eastern Conference Finals. Like, I don't mean to take multiple victory laps here, but my Kemba Kyrie narrative has actually been proven, despite what people on Twitter may have you think. And then this Miami Heat team, this is the best team in the Eastern Conference 1 year sooner than I expected it. Like, you know what I mean? I don't want to be that guy, but I'm going to be that guy. Like, this is it. Like,
I mean, there is fair to question. We don't know if Kyrie was on the Boston Celtics this year. Maybe he steps up big in the clutch after you've seen him hit a big shot before, and maybe he defeats the Miami Heat. Maybe, Brian.
Maybe.
They lost to the Milwaukee Bucks, who got decimated by the Miami Heat this year. Giannis couldn't do anything against Jimmy Butler. Could have been
different year, different Kyrie. I don't know.
And you don't get as good of a Jason Tatum and as good of a Jaylen Brown, who's starting to look a little bit like a young Scottie Pippen, if you still have Kyrie Irving on this team. And I love Scottie Pippen, but Jaylen Brown.
Brian, I'll say this. I want you to you earned this victory lap. Keep talking your talk, Playboy.
There's a buck coming, and I ain't gonna like it.
No. I want you to air out all those national NBA writers who said that Bam ain't shit.
Oh my God!
Put them on blast.
We were, and I'm not gonna mention this dude by name because, like,
Come on, man, put him out there.
No, but you know what the problem is when you're beefing, and this isn't beef, but I'm saying, like, in general, when you're like, I guess, mentioning other people, you can't like mention them anymore because then it just works in their benefit and whatever the case may be. Like, now it's just a different time. This ain't the beef DVD. You know what I mean? Like, this is different. This is a different time. So, but the national NBA writer from The Ringer had told all of us, because we were there in person, that Bam Adebayo couldn't play. I don't know. Maybe like this was in November, and I was like, oh wait, like the same one that was like the reason Miami started winning more games after Hassan Whiteside got benched. Like, as soon as Hassan Whiteside got benched, we have people in our group chats telling us that Hassan Whiteside was better just because he blocks more shots and puts up more rebounds, even though they're empty calorie numbers. Like, yo, man, I really watch basketball, man.
Well, see, I'm with Jarod. You got to call these people out. Brian, we've let you talk your shit and take your victory lap. I'm sure you'll be taking more. Guys, what else did you think about this series? Were you surprised at how it went? Murph, I know you were a little bit Team Boston strong, but were you surprised about how it went?
Player A, player B, who y'all taking?
It don't matter who we take. We know who you're taking. It don't matter who we take.
I mean, I will say this, Brian, to your point is correct. In terms of just raw talent, Kyrie might be one of the more special players that we've ever seen in the NBA in terms of raw talent, right? But as I've said on this before and on many other things, it ain't about talent. And the secret of basketball ain't always about your ability to play basketball. Kemba Walker is a better fit for the Boston Celtics because his mindset allows Tatum and Brown to cook. And he's fine relegating himself to the third option when they're cooking. Kyrie don't really like to play that game. That's not how he likes to roll. And to your point about Jaylen Brown, and I love Scottie Pippen. I don't think he's quite as good defender as Scottie Pippen, although he's very good. Jaylen is a better offensive player right now, I think. Mm-hmm. Better shooter at this stage of his career. Now, is he a playmaker as Scottie? Not quite, right? Scottie was an excellent playmaker.
That's why I said early. He's got some of that early Scottie.
But he got early.
What is he, 6'8", 6'7"?
Yeah, he's long. And you know what I love about Jaylen, and Murph, we talked about this. I love Jaylen's compete level, man. Like, that dude, like, he just gets up. Like, when Miami was doing on their run in Game 6, Jaylen just said, fuck. He just started getting up into dudes. He's like, I'm just going to guard. And it's like ripping the ball away from Dragic. It's just like, I'm like, damn, it's like that, Jaylen? Like, he's that dude. I like him a lot.
They need to flip Hayward. That's what I think.
That ain't gonna play too well with the
Keep
Boston fan
Kemba,
base.
keep Smart,
And
keep Tatum, keep
and I'll
Brown.
leave it at that. The Boston
Yeah,
fan base.
you're right. But keep Tatum, Smart, Kemba, and Brown and Jaylen Brown. Keep those four. I would even keep Daniel Tice, and then Hayward can go. Like you need to make some changes around that core, basically.
All right, but what about the Heat? You give the Heat a lot of credit for what they've done.
I'm done talking.
Murph, do you give the Heat a lot of credit for what you saw and how they were able to execute, especially down the stretch in this series as they head to the finals?
Oh yeah, I mean they get all the credit. I think Boston showed their youth a little bit. Tatum and Brown are going to be beasts in the future, but I think they're about I think they needed to take this like lump where in a series that they were favored to win. So now they've gone through that themselves, not just losing to LeBron when they weren't really even supposed to be there without Kemba that year. That was basically that was free money right there. But here, when they had the pressure on them to win, this is their first real lump when they were supposed to do something and didn't get it done. So I could see them being a terror coming back next year. I think even Brad Stevens, who everybody knows I love, there's no question he got outcoached by Spoelstra in this round. I mean, Spoelstra probably showed he's the best coach in the game, at the moment. Just you got to give Spoelstra credit for the team unity, the unselfishness that Miami plays with. Of course, they play hard. They've been playing hard for years now. Been a defensive mentality type of team for years. But offensively is really where Miami, showed what they, showed their worth. You got to give credit to Riley putting that team together, finding, guys like Duncan Robinson, who a person like me never thought would be in the league, much less a starter on an NBA championship level team. A hero, great find in the draft. I don't think anybody knew the extent to his fearlessness. I thought he was a pretty good player at Kentucky. I didn't know he was really this. So yeah, all praise has to go to Miami. And I'm one of these people who thinks, as we move forward, you got a lot of. I mean, the Lakers are the ultimate, fanboy team in the NBA that we have. So of course you would expect people to be like, not pay attention to anybody else. They just watch Laker games and they're like, oh, Lakers in 5 because we never heard of Miami. We don't know. We never heard of half the players on Miami. So Lakers in 5. I don't see it, man. I got Lakers in 7, but I also had Bucks in 7 and I had Celtics in 7. Right?
Yeah, you know what that says? Don't trust Murph's picks at 7. That's what that says to me right there. All right, so let's move to the Lakers and look at the Western Conference. They dispose of the Nuggets in 5.
Oh, wait, hold on. I got one more thing.
Oh, God.
I got one more thing. If you don't by now have Jimmy Butler in your top 10, I'm leaving the room. I'm leaving the room.
I don't have Jimmy Butler in my top 10.
I was told
we were trying to get you to leave the room.
I was told before the season that players were above him because of talent. They have cooler sneakers. They can, make so. You know what I mean? Like, come on.
Who's he above? Who's he above that you don't agree with consensus wise?
Kyrie Irving. Probably Joel Embiid at this point too.
I don't have those two in my top 10.
Paul George.
As a friend of mine always says, guy played, he played for Notre Dame and South Carolina basketball. He always try to, when I bring up, when I was talking about Kawhi being, the best, possibly the best player in the league, they play the full season for a reason too. It's not just about the playoffs. Like I want to watch 82 games of basketball. That's an important part of what basketball is, the regular season.
But
so you can't totally
just
discount what people do. Like if someone's numbers dwarf someone else's over the regular season, you can't totally discount it because a guy is a better playoff player.
But it's not. He's not some terrible regular season player. I mean, they were overachieving according to most people. Not me. They were over. Yeah, he's been an All-Star 5 times. He's been an All-Star 5 times, and now he is the main reason that this team is where they are. Although
it seems like a very collective effort.
Well, here's the thing: him going there, that's the main reason. That kickstarts everything. Now, he is, I think, the best and most accomplished player on their team. But the most talented player
is Bam
the most talented player on their team, the most versatile player, that's Bam. That's Bam.
Here's what I'll say, by the way, just as we wrap this. We know 16-game players that, listen, there's something to be said for that. Dudes that for 16 games in the postseason, because again, it's a smaller sample size, but the stakes are higher and the competition level is better, right? You ain't getting them nights against Phoenix and the Knicks and the Hornets. No. We playing good teams. So Jimmy gets credit for that. But maybe also, too, the talent gap. We admit the Boston's top three are more talented, right? Tatum, Brown, Kemba. But the gap between them and Bam, Jimmy, and Tyler may not be as wide as we all thought it was
I'd agree with
at
that.
the beginning of this.
I'd agree with that. I think that's fair to say. I think
They're still better.
They're better, but it's not as wide as you would thought. And maybe it's time you have to start looking at Bam as a star hero who looks like he's emerging into that. And like Murph said, had things that I didn't even think. I did not think he had this moxie. Like, even when I saw stuff in Summer League, and I always never get crazy about Summer League, I didn't think he had this kind of moxie. And the kid has got guts. And he looks like he's going to be around in here for a while. So those are great finds in the draft. I wish the Knicks could do something like that, but that's another story for another day.
Airball shots and is like,
yeah, whatever.
Undeterred.
It's like, whatever.
Like, and Brian, I'll give you props for this. I knew Bam was good, but when you kicked me the whole Bam Garnett, I'm like, man, stop that bullshit. Yo, watching in particular, I mean, the whole playoffs, but that closeout game especially, I was like, God damn.
Well, let's see, because I thought that this series, I thought he would have a monster series because of the lack of, height, really, height on the Boston side, especially Tice. It started off a little slow. They kind of contained him. I want to say the first game, maybe two, and I was like, oh, maybe they can match him skill wise. So that's a problem. But in the end, he dominated. Now, can he dominate like that? And I think he's going to show up and put up close to triple double numbers because that's kind of what he does. But is he going to be able to do the same thing he did this series against the Lakers, who have much more height, and they can throw obviously AD, but they could throw Dwight Howard and
JaVale McGee.
McGee.
I'll tell you this: he's more athletic than Nikola Jokic, right? So the way in which they were able to body up and be physical with Jokic may not quite work the same way.
And he's more relentless.
Right. He'll get them in foul trouble quicker than Jokic was able to. And I'll tell you right now, he ain't afraid of Anthony Davis. I know that for a fact.
See, and I think
Bam sitting at home like Anthony Davis is soft.
100%. I think that somewhat matters, but I do think what Murph is saying. They have so many bigs they can throw. They can throw at him. That's going to be interesting. We'll see what Bam does. It's going to be interesting. All right, but to the Lakers.
We need tape of that when they go back to Kentucky for them runs. Like on those games, was Bam give AD that work during them runs?
I want to see that. And it's Tyler. And it's Tyler Hero. Tyler Hero jaying people in the eye.
I'm not saying Anthony Davis is kind of special.
He's nasty. Anthony Davis is nasty.
Yeah.
He's so good.
All right. So to the Lakers, they get here to dispose of the Nuggets in 5. Some people might have thought it should have been a longer series. Everybody wanted the Battle of LA. We talked about the Battle of LA before and how disappointing the Clippers were. I wasn't surprised at what the Lakers did here. I thought they were going to win in 5. I think the Lakers look strong. They look focused. I picked the Lakers from the start of this year to win it. I'm still sticking with that. But let's talk about something Murph said. I'm in agreement with Murph on this, right? In that people are going to very quickly dismiss this and say it'll be Miami in 5, right? I think you're disrespecting Miami. I think Miami's good. I think they're going to have to adjust to the perimeter defense that they can bring, and also their ability to stay patient and make shots, which Miami is able to do. I do not think this is going to be a walk in the park for the Lakers. I'm not going 7, but I see Lakers in 6. What do the rest of you guys think about it? Because like I said, I'm in agreement with Murph. This is not going to be a walk in the park for the Lakers. Because Miami, as Brian says, they ain't scared of nobody right now. We've seen it. They are not scared of anybody. So what do you guys think about this? How do you think this plays out for the Lakers? And will LeBron get this chip again?
I mean, look, LeBron knows that he only got so many more chances to get this, right? Like, so he's going to be all in and focused. I will say this. Besides LeBron and Anthony Davis, in a half-court set, if you are an opposing team, who are you concerned about on that team?
Oof.
Let
Wait.
Only Rondo if he has it going.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't say Kuzma. I'd like to say Kuzma, but I can't say Kuzma.
Rondo's hitting threes. So.
Oh, well, shit. No. If Rondo's shooting 40% from three, it's a wrap, right?
Yeah, whenever I see a three go in and Rondo, I'm like, oh,
and I say all that to say, yes, the Lakers half-court defense is, it is stuff of legend, and they get into you defensively. Caruso actually is an excellent defender.
What do you think? More so than Boston or Toronto?
I think it's different kind of defense, right? Like, it's like those teams are... It's more scheme based, and not saying their guys aren't good, but like individually, I just like what the Lakers kind of do defensively. And again, it's that size and that height, right? All the rim protection they have. It is Dwight. It is JaVale. It is AD. You got so much rim protection in there and height. But if Miami is able to not let the Lakers get out in transition, this is where the Lakers are, right? LeBron, AD, in the open. You got KCP shooting out to the corner for three, like. If they can just make it a half-court grinding game, I mean, would it surprise you? If Miami won?
You know they can do that.
Right.
If they don't want the Lakers to run, they're not. The Lakers aren't going to have as many running opportunities as they've had in the past. We know that the Heat. This is what Spoelstra and the Heat do. Like we don't give up transition points. It's like defense, like great defense 101. Get back on defense. So I don't know.
And the Heat play without fouling, right? A lot.
Right.
And that is the ability to play defense, with this guy's in the chat, without fouling is such an important skill to have, right? And they can do that. And again, and offensively, I love how they attack. Miami attacks with multiple offense. It's that Golden State offense reimagined, right? Back cuts, split cuts. It's constant motion and moving, right? Which that's harder to defend. Yes, we love isolation play because that's like, the essence of basketball. But isolation play, in essence, is easy to guard because you know what it is. It's just you and your dude. Right. When you got 85 people running around, that causes chaos. And wait, that was your man? No. And that's what Miami does. Again, I'm not saying Miami's going to win, but this idea that the Lakers are going to win in 5, hell no. Like 6, 7.
And let me say this: as far as the Lakers, I feel like the Lakers have not been tested, in my opinion.
Defensively,
not this. Houston is a joke. I'm sorry. That was a joke.
True.
I mean, they were a joke this year.
Your boy Harden's not a bringer?
Yeah, they didn't get a chance to play the Clippers. We think the Clippers would have.
Yeah, see, that's a good thing, but we don't know that.
Rolled over. We didn't know, but the Clippers would have rolled over.
Clippers didn't earn it. So
when we had the Final Four, when it was the Final Four, Lakers, Denver, Celtics, and Heat, I ranked them: Lakers, Celtics, Heat.
Denver.
So the Lakers could kind of had they haven't played the competition that even the Heat have to get here.
You're
and
right.
They both have the same number of wins and losses in the playoffs.
You're right.
So I think we'll see what if the Lakers win in 5. I'll be wrong again.
Is it? Are we on an every other day schedule playing? That's what we're on, right?
There's one gap that's 3 days. I think it's after game 4. I want to say
that game 5 is going to be a huge LeBron game. Because I'm going to say it again. These every other days, you see it affecting him early in games. Yeah, he still had a triple double, but again, every morning after a Laker game, I go back and watch all his possessions individually offensively, and you just see it. Like he's 35.
Game 1, he's going to go crazy because he hasn't played since Saturday.
Right. So he got some rest now. More extra days he can get. They win those games where he gets extra rest. Now we're talking, all right, that's 2 wins right there. So now they got to figure out Miami. How am I winning 4 out of the remaining 5?
I expect LeBron to have a big series here. I really do. I think LeBron actually has been conserving as much energy as he can throughout these playoffs. I think you made a point, Jarod. He's hungry. He knows he doesn't have too many of these opportunities left. I think he's going to go hard for this. I mean, he kind of better. This might be it. You're right. He kind of better. The one thing I'll say before we wrap this too, the thing I think we got to keep our eye on, we talked about Bam and how he can play. Anthony Davis, who's been good when pushed. I'll give him that. When he's had some bad games like Bam, he's come back and responded very well. But Anthony Davis can't afford to take nights off really against this team because this isn't with PJ Tucker guarding you. This isn't, throwing Jeremy Grant at you at sometimes. This isn't whoever the hell Portland was throwing at him, which was really nobody. You have to. You've got to. Yeah, you got to show up on this and be there for LeBron to be that decoy because of what you said, Jarod, and the fact that you don't really trust anybody else in their half-court offense aside from those two. Now, if their role players are on and they're hitting shots, it's dangerous. But I also will say, I think this is to be noted when it comes to Miami. If they can look at some of the lineups they played in Game 6, when you can have Robinson and Hero out there, where you're playing with Butler, Bam. In some spots, they didn't even have Dragic on the floor, who's been tremendous through the postseason. They were playing Iguodala on the floor, and you're spacing it out and moving the ball and all that motion. You got those two sharpshooters out there. Yo, that lineup is not for play. It is dangerous. I would not sleep on it, and they're going to make that Laker defense work, man. So, like I said, I don't think Brian. I think I'll leave you the last word on this because I know you are Team Heat. We know you're Team Heat. I don't know why you don't have a Miami Heat shirt on today. I don't understand it at all. But are you in agreement with us that this is not going to be a walk in the park for the Lakers?
Oh, I got the Heat in 7. Well, at least that's what that's like what my heart says. You know what I mean? That's the
your heart pumps blood.
My head says Lakers in 6 because I really don't like. Honestly, this is one that I'm looking at where LeBron, you can't really lose this. You know what I mean? Like, you can't really lose. This isn't Miami, Dallas, because this Miami team is, like, better than people expected or whatever the case may be this year. Like, this isn't a chump finals team. Mm-hmm. They give me 04 Pistons vibes a little bit, which we talked about in our group chat yesterday. But at the same time, it's like, yo, LeBron, you shouldn't lose these finals. And I think he knows that, and I think he's going to come through. I think he might average 30, 10, and 10. Like, I think he's going to be – like, it's LeBron James. At the end of the day, to some degree, like, we just have to acknowledge what it is. He had big numbers in another closeout game. He said he was going to end it, and he did. I also want to make note of this. Everything you guys said is true. The first matchup that they had earlier this season, which was all the way back in November, it was kind of just a blowout. Miami came out flat. I think it was the second of a back-to-back. Lakers shut them down. It was 95-80, ugly game. Second game, very close, very entertaining. It was all the way back in December, though. Tyler Hero struggled off the bench. He shot only 3 for 12. I got the numbers in front of me. Anthony Davis had a huge, huge game. He had 33 and 10, and he shot 11 of 20. He also made 4 threes in this game on 9 3-point attempts. LeBron
is important that you mentioned, by the way.
Yeah,
Anthony Davis can't be averaging 3 rebounds like that single digit or no rebound shit he's been doing the last. I don't know what that is. You got to cut that shit out.
Yeah, none of that Brook Lopez against Bam. You can't do that.
Yeah, agreed.
You can't do that. Agreed. LeBron had 28, 9 rebounds and 12 assists in this game. He also hit 4 threes and shot 50% from the floor. Otherwise, I mean, KCP at 15. KCP has actually been decent in these playoffs. I'll say that much. Yes. And then other than that, I mean, Avery Bradley had 10. Avery Bradley, that's the guy you want on Goran Dragic in this series. Goran Dragic's had a great playoff so far. Not probably as much the last couple of games or so, but Avery Bradley is the guy you want in the series who's going to be missed. Rondo was terrible that game. He played 25 minutes and was scoreless. Danny Green, who's been awful in these playoffs, hasn't done much. JaVale McGee is somebody who did come through. He had 10 rebounds in 17 minutes, and this was when Miami was starting Myers Leonard, not Bam. They don't run with as much size, which is something that the Lakers are going to need to use in their advantage. I think that the Lakers should win in 6 or 7 games, but I don't know. This Miami team, I just have a hard time betting against them or LeBron. But this is the finals that I wanted, so it's going to be great. Game 1 is coming, and on Game 1, you got the South Park Pandemic Special at 8 p.m., and then you got Game 1 at 9. You got the 1 hour of South Park making fun of the state of the country that we obviously need to fix, and then 1 hour later, LeBron and Anthony Davis versus Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo.
So your heart, yes.
I was going to say, I want to give Dwight Howard just a little bit of props here for his playoffs, particularly that series against the Nuggets.
Yep.
Like Dwight's easy to make fun of and clown and like do all this stuff because he also makes it easy on us doing that because he does outlandish stuff. But this dude has been a defensive player of the year multiple times, all defense. Like he's not obviously his prime anymore, but he's still strong as hell and still pretty athletic for his age. And he gave Jokic fits, and Jokic might be the best big man in the game, right? In terms of all things considered. And for him to do that, like, they're going to need those minutes for him against Bam, right? Where, again, he's not fouling, where he's able to make it difficult. Because he knows about superstars, right? They're going to get theirs. That's just how it works. The idea is I need to make you inefficient while you get in yours. Couple turnovers here, wasted possession, 20 points on 25 shots instead of on 14, like that kind of thing. If he can help contribute to that, that's a good thing.
It's tough to make Bam inefficient because he's not taking wild shots. He's not taking a number of shots, and his game is just an unselfish game. Like he's going to take what you give him, and he's always going to go crash the boards with relentlessly. So that's the thing. I don't know, like who do you can't, like, I know you have LeBron and you have AD, both individual great defenders in their own right, but who on the Heat do you focus on? It's like they were having games with like 4 or 5 guys in double figures. We're forgetting about Dragic. We're forgetting about Tyler Hero can step up. I mean, even
Jay Crowder. Crowder, yep.
Iguodala had a big game last night.
Yeah, there's going to be one game where Crowder hits like 2 or 3 threes and kills you.
More than one.
You know what I'm saying? So, I just feel like, I feel like we'll see after the first game because you kind of got to see how the teams match up and what it looks like before you get a feel. But man, I just feel like the Lakers have not really been tested yet.
I think it's a fair point. Before we go, because Murph, you said Lakers in 7?
Yeah, that's my official.
That's your pick? All right. Remember, don't trust Murph in 7. He's not to be trusted.
When I pick one team in 7, it really means I pick the other team.
Yeah. We should have learned that. Brian says he thinks it's the Lakers series alert. Jarod, did we get your pick?
I did not make it. I was on the fence. I was doing that whole waffle thing. I ain't trying to make it. No,
you gonna make a pick?
God. See, Brian, I'm like you. It's like betting against LeBron. I'm like, I don't.
Yeah. So that's how I differentiate. My heart is Heat in 7. My head is Lakers in 6.
You know what? It's the year of the Heat. Heat in 7.
Wow.
There it is.
Okay. Heat in 7. I got Lakers in 6. I think it's going to be a fantastic series. We will see what happens. If the Heat win, Brian will be, as we've seen him a lot of times, he will be insufferable. Absolutely insufferable.
Hey, it'll be better content. I'll tell you what.
For some people.
I've already won. I showed you this whole episode. You know what I mean? From the jump, our new segment we debuted, which I think went well, and then we have this finals between I'm chilling. I just want the pandemic to be over and for us to get a new president. That'll be good.
Well, unbelievably, this NBA season is almost over as we are into the finals. We will have more thoughts, reactions, because some crazy stuff is going to happen throughout the finals. Thanks for discussing, guys. Appreciate it as always.